So yesterday we learned how to solve equations with variables on both sides, and I wrote the steps over here. Remember, the first thing you have to look for is are there parentheses that I need to deal with distributive property? Then you're going to look to each side and say, do I need to combine like terms on either side? Then this was the new step from yesterday right here, the move variables all to one side by adding or subtracting. Remember that you're moving the entire term. You're not just moving the x. Okay, you're moving the coefficient and the x. So like 2x, you're moving the whole thing to either side. Okay, and then you get rid of the constant, and then you get rid of the coefficient. Now, we're going to talk about the possible solutions. These are the special equations that I introduced you to yesterday. Okay, so right here, if you get this, that means that there's two lines and they meet at exactly 1 point. And this is the solution. So there's one solution here, meaning there's one answer. This is the majority of your answers. Most equations have a solution where the two lines meet. Yes? If you get an answer that looks like this, what is the answer? No solution. This is where you have parallel lines. Okay? They never will meet. And in your final answer, you're going to get 0 equals a random number. 0 equals 5, 0 equals 3. That means they are actually parallel lines. They will never meet. So how do I draw an answer for no solution? A 0 with a line through it. If you forget to put the line through it, you're saying they do intersect at 0. So you have to make sure that you draw the line through it, okay? And then if you get this, what does the answer mean? Infinite solutions. How do we write that in like a shorthand? All real numbers with an R with little marks above it. Okay, so remember, this ends up being parallel lines for no solution. This ends up being the exact same line. Same slope, same y-intercept. When you graph them, they're just on top of each other and they're intersecting at every single point. And this is where it's just two random lines that eventually meet at 1 point. Yes? All right, so today you're not going to know if you're going to get which one of these. You have to figure it out. All right, so let's look at the first example. Are there parentheses I need to deal with? No. Are there like terms on the left that I need to combine? Nope. Are there like terms on the right? No. Are there variables on both sides that I need to pull to one side? Yes. You get to decide which way you pull. Now, again, just for the sake of us doing it the same, I just teach to pull it to the left, but don't think that that's what you have to do. You could pull this 8x to the right. Okay? And you decide. So we're going to pull to the left. So this 4x needs to come to that side. Yes? How will I move and zero out a 4x? Minus 4x. And whatever I do to the right, I have to do to the left. So that's going to cancel out. Now, when I am looking at this and needing to put it in my calculator, how would I read this 8? What kind of value does it have? So negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. So I have 7 minus 12x. What's another way I could have written that? 7 plus negative 12x. And it's the same thing. So you pick which way you want to write it. Equals, and what kind of value does this 17 have? Negative. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the constant, this 7. How do I zero out a 7? Negative or minus 7. I'm going to bring the negative 12x down, and negative 17 minus 7 is negative 24. I'm going to get rid of the coefficient by division. And negative 24 divided by negative 12 is positive 2. Easy? Okay, let's move on to this one. What do y'all see before you even start? They're the exact same. Same slope, same y-intercept. So if I was to graph this, it would be one line, and it would fall right on top of the other one. So what do y'all think the answer is going to be? Infinite solutions, all real numbers. But let's go pretend we didn't know that and see if we get 0 equals 0. Okay? All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is pull this 7w to the left. How would I zero out a 7w? Minus 7w. And right here, when I see that the w's are going to disappear, I know my answer has to be one of these. Because 7w minus 7w is 0, and I realize my w is gone. So I bring down my plus 1 equals 1. I move this to the left, to the right by subtraction, and I get 0 equals 0. Is that where I leave my answer, though? No, I have to write the answer, which is all real numbers. Okay, let's go to the next one. What do y'all see right away that we have to deal with first? The parentheses. So I'm just going to write the left side down, 9x minus 5 equals. And I need to distribute the 1/4 to the 16 and the 1/4 to the 60. Now, do y'all know that multiplying by a fourth is the same thing as dividing by 4? Because you multiply straight across, 1 times whatever is going to be whatever, and then the 4 would go on bottom. So you're just dividing by 4. Okay? So what is a fourth of 16? 4. So I have 4x plus, what's a fourth of 60? 15. Are there any like terms that need to be combined? Nope. Are there x's that need to be moved to the left? Yes. How am I going to pull this 4x and zero it out to move it over here? Minus 4x. (9x minus 4x is 5x. Minus 5 equals 15. I'm going to get rid of the constant by adding. So I have 5x equals 20. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay, I'm going to let you guys do this one on your own. How did we do? Good? Are there any questions? No? Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, what's the first thing I need to deal with? The parentheses. So on the left, I'm going to do 9x plus 12. And on the right, I'm going to distribute the 9 to the x and the 9 to the 3. 9 times x is 9x, plus 9 times 3 is? What do y'all see? What are they called? In y equals mx plus b, the m is the slope. The slopes are the, what does that mean? What kind of lines are these? They're parallel. So are they ever going to touch? So what's my answer going to be? No solution. But let's go solve it, okay? So remember, if it's no solution, we're going to get 0 equals a random number. Okay, so let's go do it. I'm going to move the 9x to the left by subtraction. Right here, I see that my x's are disappearing. That means the answer is no solution or all real numbers. Okay, so I have 0 plus 12 equals 27. Are we okay? I'm going to subtract 12. And 27 minus 12 is 15. 0 does not equal 15. Why? These are parallel lines. They're never going to touch. So my answer is no solution. And you have to put the answer. You cannot leave it 0 equals 15. That doesn't mean anything. That's just you showing your work. Okay? All right, let's do this last one. Y'all want to try it on your own? After you distribute, I want y'all to look at it and see if you see anything. Do step 1 and then we'll talk about it. Okay, stop and look at step 1. What do y'all see? The slope is the same. The y-intercept is the same. They are the same line. So where do they meet? Everywhere. So what's my answer going to be? All real numbers. So let's go solve it and see if we get 0 equals 0. So I'm going to subtract 6a. I get 0 plus 6 equals 6. I would subtract 6, and I would end up with 0 equals 0. So my answer is all real numbers. Do y'all understand the difference between no solution and all real? I think there's a lot on your assignment today. Okay? So you've got to know the difference. All right, let's go do some word problems. Suppose your club is selling candles to raise money. It costs $100 to rent a booth from which to sell the candles. If the candles cost your club $1 each and are sold for $5 each, how many candles must be sold to equal your expenses? Okay, we want to equal our expenses. Okay, are y'all ready? There's multiple ways we could set this up. Does anybody want to help me think of some ideas?
100 equals 1x.
Okay, so 100, she wants to put 100 on the left. Okay. The candles cost $1 each to make. But they're sold for $5 each. So which one of these is like like you're making money, and which one is it costing you money? This one's costing us money. So do I add that or subtract it? Because I'm subtracting out of my profit, right? This one I'm making money, right? Okay, so how could I write that?
Minus 1x plus 5x.
Yeah. You could do 5x minus 1x or negative 1x plus 5x. Are we talking about candles? Y'all want to use C as the variable? So I have 5x minus 1x. Now that's one way to set it up, and there's nothing wrong with that way. Or I could have put the cost on one side and the profit on the other. If I had the cost over here, it costs $100 to rent the booth, right? What else does it cost? $1 times the candles. I told y'all to put a C and then I put an X, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And then I could have put the profit over here. If I combine the variables to one side, isn't it going to be the same thing? Like if I moved this over here, wouldn't I move it by subtracting 1x? So does it equal the same thing no matter which way you wrote it? Yes. So just know there's multiple ways to do these. Okay? This is the way I actually saw it at first, but then I thought, if I put the cost all together and the profit all together and separate them, then this is the way it looks. When you solve it, you're going to get the same answer. Okay, let's go with this one because we already combined the variables to one side. All right, so I have 100 equals 4x. Because 5x minus 1x is 4x. I divide by 4. And 100 divided by 4 is? So what does that represent? 25 what? If y'all put a C, you should know. 25 candles. So you need to sell 25 candles just to break even and not even make any money. So to make profit, you'd have to sell 26 and you wouldn't make much. So you need to sell like a lot of them. See what I'm saying? All right, flip to the back. Here we go. What is the length and width of the rectangle if the P equals, what does P mean? If the perimeter equals 22 plus 2W. We've already learned how to do perimeter. How do you find perimeter of a rectangle? Length plus width plus, or 2 times length plus 2 times width equals perimeter. Yes or no? Isn't that length plus width plus width? Are we okay? Yes or no? Y'all got to tell me if I need to explain it better. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 times length. Well, here's the length, yes? Do you think it needs parentheses? Because I'm multiplying the whole thing by 2. Yes. So I'm going to do 2 times 3w minus 4 plus 2 times width, which is just 2w. Y'all agree? Equals the perimeter. What's the perimeter? 22 plus 2w. Can I now solve this equation? What's the first thing I need to do? Distributive property. What do I need to do right here? Change. So 2 times 3w is 6w, plus 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, plus 2w equals 22 plus 2w. All right, are there any like terms I need to combine? I need to combine this and this. Y'all agree? What is 6w plus 2w? So I have 8w plus negative 8 equals 22 plus 2w. Now I need to get all the w's to one side. Am I going too fast? No? Okay, so we need to pull this w over here. How am I going to cancel out a 2w? Minus 2w. I need to do it to both sides. 8w minus 2w is 6w plus negative 8 equals 22. Now I need to get rid of the constant. How do I get rid of a negative 8? Plus 8. So I have 6w equals 30. And then I divide by 6. And what's 30 divided by 6? 5. Am I done? Did it say solve for w? What did it say solve for? What is the length and what did we find already? What do we have? The width. So the width is 5. 5 what? Did they even label? No. So they didn't put inches or centimeters, so I don't know what it is. The length is 3w minus 4. So what is 3 times w? Well, what is w? So what is 3 times 5? 15. What is 15 minus 4? 11. All right, let's look at the next one. It says find the perimeter of the square. find the perimeter of the square. Well, they didn't give me the perimeter, did they? So I can't do this plus this plus this plus this equals perimeter because they didn't give it to me. But what do we know about squares? All sides are the? So does this have to equal this? Because they are the exact same. So I'm going to set it up. 5x minus 8 equals 3x. Do y'all understand why I was able to set them equal? Because in squares, all sides are the? Now, let's think logically. Would it be easiest to move this x to this side or this x to this side? Probably doing from here to here, right? Because there's nothing else over here. So let's go move this 5x to this side. How would I cancel out a 5x? Minus 5x. What kind of value does that 8 have? So I have negative 8 equals, and 3 minus 5 is? Negative 2x. I want to get the x by itself, so I need to get rid of the coefficient, negative 2, by division. And so I get x equals, and negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. Am I done? What did it say, solve for x? No. But I needed x to find the what? Perimeter. So I need to find one of the sides. Which one is going to be easiest to do? 3 times x. What's 3 times 4? That means every side is what? How do I know that? Because all the sides are the same. So if I want the perimeter, I need to add 12 4 times, or 12 times 4. 48. Did it give me a measure of unit, like centimeters, inches? No. So the perimeter is 48. And guys, you're going to have to do these on your assignment today. So if you get confused, look at your notes or watch the video, okay? All right, do the next one. It says find the perimeter of the square. Did they give you the perimeter? But we know that in squares, all sides are the? So I'm just going to take those two and set them equal to each other. You pick which one do y'all want on the left, which one do you want on the right. It does not matter. Anybody? How'd y'all write it? Could I have put it backwards and put 10x equals 6x plus 8? Yes, it's the same thing. All right, since we only have one thing over here, I'm going to pull this x to the right by subtraction. So I have 8 is equal to, and 10x minus 6x is 4x. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and x equals 2. Am I finished? It did not say to solve for x. It said find the perimeter. So I need a side link. Well, 10 times x is 10 times 2, which is? So all the sides are 20. 20 times 4 is 80. And the last two questions say find the value of x. And these are adjacent angles, which you would have learned this in 8th grade math, but you skipped it. All you need to know, if the angles are across from each other like this, here's my highlighter. Like, see how this angle is adjacent to this angle? That means they're equal. So you just make an equation by setting them equal. So you would say 4x minus 2 equals 5x minus 3. Why did I take the parentheses off of this? I didn't need them. There's nothing for me to distribute, right? So I can take them off. All right, so I'm going to solve. Which way do you want to pull the x's, to the left or to the right? To the left? All right, so minus 5x. So I have negative 1x minus 2 equals negative 3. I'm going to get rid of the constant by adding 2. So I have negative 1x equals negative 1. Yes? And I'm going to divide, and I get x equals 1. And did it say solve for x? Yes. And again, on the last one, we're not going to solve it, but just set it up. You're simply going to say this side equals this side. So 1.15 plus 0.8x equals 2.3 minus 1.5x. And then you would just solve it. Okay? All right, I will pass out the assignment. All right, on the front, you're just going to solve them. Do you have to show work? Yes. Where can you check your stuff, though? In your calculator. There are no special equations on the front. I'm looking at the answer key. Oh, yes, there is. I'm lying. There's one special equation. One. Okay? All right, flip to the back. These are exactly like your notes. Notice, though, on 16 through 18, does it say solve for x? So if you solve for x, you did the right thing, but that's not your answer. It said find the perimeter. So yes, you're going to have to solve for x first, then find perimeter. So you need x to find the perimeter. Are y'all with me? So don't forget to take it that step further. All right, number 19, I'm going to help you set up. And then number 20, I want you to do it on your own. Okay, so let's look at number 19. It says, find the length and the width of the, so what should I draw? A rectangle. It says the length, so here's the length, y'all agree? The length is 5 units more than the width. How would I write that right here? 5 more than the width. 5 plus W. Let's talk about how she got that. Again, it says the length, so go to the length, is 5 more, 5 plus the width, W. So what are we going to call the width? W. Then it says the perimeter is, so perimeter is 9 times the width. How would I write 9 times the width? 9W. The question says find the length and the, so my final answer should look like this. Okay? So you're going to set up an equation to solve this. Well, I know that to find perimeter, write this up here, it's 2 times length plus 2 times width equals perimeter. Are y'all okay? So I'm going to do 2 times this plus 2 times this equals this. So 2 times, do I need parentheses for this? Yes. Times 5 plus W plus 2 times width, so 2W, equals the perimeter, which is 9W. And then I'm going to solve for W, and then I'm going to plug that back in to solve for length and put my answers right here. Okay? You're going to do the same thing on number 20, but be careful with this. What did I teach y'all about less than? What has to happen? They switch spots. So if it says 5 less than 2 times the width, it is not 5 minus, it's something minus 5. Okay? And everything else is what we did on our notes. All right, you may get started.